And hello to everybody watching here today at Race Spec Esports. Today we are here in Spain, Barcelona, for the Spanish Grand Prix in round 12 in RS5. And let's see what these guys can put up for a show here. Personally, one of my favorite tracks. Really short, really fast. But lots of ways to invalidate in qualifying or to take penalties during the race. And hello Stein for joining in the chat, and also for Kennick shouting for Boa as Marvlind in the Williams is the first car to go out here today. Let me get the spectators menu up real quick. There we go. So he's in the Williams is going to be the first one who set a lap. Also one of the Red Bulls and one of the Mercedes are going out now. And let's see what these guys can do in qualifying. So the hold-up man in the Red Bull is on the mediums. Let's see if how that would work out for him. Of course, no rubber on track yet, so he needs to warm the tires up pretty good to keep the grip level on the right position. As Marvlind in the Williams is now going through the chicane onto the last corner and is off to set his first time here. And now in the meantime we also have different cars on track. One of the Ferraris got out. Both of the Ferraris actually got out. And also Ferry starting on the mediums. And of course the Williams taking a first purple sector here. Gets a bit of traffic in front of him, but should be fine. It's one of the Haas. It's Ferry, I believe. The only Haas currently here today for the race. And there's the fastest sector too, so it does look like a decent lap, to be honest. Excuse me. Now into the chicane and onto the last corner. A bit of a lock up there, but it did seem that it cost a lot of time. And it's gonna be a 1:15.8, so that's a good decent lap from Marvlind in the Williams. Let's see what the Red Bull is gonna do on the mediums. Should be able to get into the top 10 on those tires, but I don't know if you want to start in the middle of the pack on the medium tire. And we have a yellow flag in sector beginning of sector 3, and it was one of the Mercedes. Well, hold up man sets 16.2. That's not that bad, seeing it's only 4 tenths behind the P1 position on the softs. And also on the Crook on the soft tire with a 60.4. Then next car to be on a lap is believe one of the, it's the Haas I believe, who's also on the medium. See, going into the last corner. Let's see what he's gonna do. It's gonna be a 17.2, so that's exactly a second slower than Hold Up Man in the Red Bull. As the Renault of Semi Pro now joins the finishing line as well for his out lap. Here he goes on the soft tire. And it should be to Alfa Romeo taking pole position. I was just switching to him, but he was faster than I was. 15.7. So that's a tenth faster than P2 at the moment. Decent lap from him. And then Ferry going into the pit lane. Let's see if we can find Ethan. There he is. He's going in. So I think he made a mistake somewhere and is not happy about his lap time. And it's got to be a McLaren of Keycon, who is the next car to set a lap time. Quite a risky chicane there, but he managed to get it through, and it's going to be 16.6. Currently P6, and his teammate over in Fire Sky takes a 17.5 on the soft tire and takes P8. So currently the guys on the mediums were in a good position actually. Especially Hold Up Man, but he decided to go for a soft lap as well. So let's see if he can do any damage on the top 3 there on those, as we are currently on board with James Cruz in the racing point, setting a faster sector 1. Definitely one of the contenders to win this race. Now into sector 2. Faster sector at the moment of the track, and no purple sector for him, but he's still on a decent lap. Now into the slowest point of the track in sector 3. And it goes to P5. So sector 2 and 3 didn't really work out for him, but still in a current position on P5. So that's a decent time. And I believe it's the Mercedes of Boa who's going to be the first car who sets the next lap. Yes, all the other cars on track are on out lap as well. And I don't know who joined in the Alpha Tauri or lost connection maybe, but he's still in the pit. So now on board with the Mercedes here. His teammate is in P3 at the moment with a 16.2. He's setting a first purple sector. Now comes the tricky part. There's a lock up there, but his exit is still pretty good. And then lock up again, so he's definitely struggling in that to score on us. Lifting here, taking all track he can get. And let's see what his purple, no purple sectors in sector 2 as well, and there's a cone there. So no purple sector in sector 2. As he had a lock up again. It's got to be a 16.2, so he's joining his teammate on P4, right behind his teammate, with a 16.2, and only a few hundreds separates them. So that's a good position for Mercedes at the moment. And Nifa Sweden is out. Let's see if we can find a visual. And we can't, because there's no... Oh, Ferry is gonna join. Oh yeah, he's in the wall there. So spun out on the chicane, on the second turn in third turn in sector 2. Lost control and hit the wall. So that's not a good day for him so far. Now even 16.0, that's a good lap from him, taking him all the way up to P3, and now he's in a good position. And Marvelin's actually improving his time as well, with 3/10 on the car behind in the race Alfa Romeo. But he's still driving as well. No, he validated. That's a shame. So 50.4 for him. That's a good lap from the Williams driver here. Taking him currently at pole position with 7 minutes to go. So a lot of things can happen, of course. But he should be in a good position all the time. As I do see the chat, and it's gonna be a wet race I hear, so that's gonna be exciting. A wet Spain. I think not a thing any driver wants actually, but did Honest Crook, and Honest Crook did set him to P3. Now both the Mercedes at P5 and 6. Hold Up Man, who's on an out lap as well. Ferry still on a lap, but he goes in. Currently only the Alpha Tauri car didn't set a lap so far. And Hold Up Man is the one on an out lap at first, I believe. And he is. So he's going to be the first one who sets a time between the Alfa Romeo and the Red Bull here. As all the others joined the pit lane. Warming his tires up for the last moments he can. Into the chicane here, onto the last corner, and there he goes for a lap time. Would be looking for a big improvement. He did 16.2 on the mediums, I believe. Let's see what he's gonna do now. And a purple sector 1, but we've seen that more often at the moment. We've seen a lot of cars having a purple sector 1, but then losing time in sector 2 and 3. Oh, and he invalidates. And I think if he just calms down on the tires, saves the wear, he can do another lap on them with a decent grip level. But he's still going hard, so then switch off to the Alfa Romeo here, who didn't invalidate yet. I didn't see his first sector, but it looks like he's on a decent lap. I think a lot of cars are still going for another lap in the last minutes of the qualifying. Ferry is indeed, and James Cruz as well, looking for that improvement and maybe climb up in the top 10. Let's see what it's going to be for the Alfa Romeo car here, and it's 15.5. So it's a purple sector 3. Currently still on P2 and only a 10th behind the Williams. And at the moment all the other cars are out as well. Hold Up Man decided to go for the pit lane. Let's see, I think it's gonna be James Cruz. He invalidated, such a shame for him. And it's gonna be the Mercedes here. It's actually up on time. and it's a 15.6. So he's in P3 now. The Mercedes of CRL Boa takes P3. But of course, still a lot of cars on track. Looking for an improvement, so he can still... Oh, James Cruz is out as well. And no car in near him, so I can't have a visual. But it looks like he spun out in turn 1. And welcome, Prof, to the chat. Hope you're gonna enjoy this race. And we have now 4 cars on out lap and 2 on a normal lap, but I think CRL Boa is going for the pit lane, maybe helping his teammate out a little if he's behind his teammate. No, yeah, he's in front of his teammate, so maybe he can help him out with a little strip steam, but he doesn't. And there goes MGG for his lap. As we are still watching the board, seeing if anyone improves. I believe this is, yeah, it is Hans Crook. So he's on out lap. And Hold Up Man is behind the Mercedes. So I think the Mercedes is going to be the first one who set a lap. Or is it semi-pro? It is semi-pro. So semi-pro is going to be the first car to set a lap. And let's see if it is a big improvement for him here. And it is an improvement, but not big enough to get him onto the top 10. And he's currently still at P12. Has some time left though to... Oh no, he was on low fuel. So it's going to be the Mercedes to set the lap next. Also the Williams trying to improve his time. Doesn't really trust the fact that there's still a lot of cars running. And I think MGG made a big mistake somewhere, as he did a 118, so no improvement for him. And then I believe it's gonna be... Oh, and Hold Up Man did take the pole position. So under the radar, he took the position of the Williams driver Marvin here with a 15.448, so that's 500 faster. And also Honest Crook with a 15.493, that's only 1,000 of a second in front of the Williams here. But let's see what how he's gonna react on this. Now into sector 3, is he improving actually? He's low on fuel. Let's see if he can take his pole position back. Can he? He's on a good lap, but he doesn't improve. He actually lost some time and he's at P3. Well, he tried everything he could. And still is in a really good position, of course. P3 isn't a bad position to start at Spain. So no worries for him, but yeah, Hold Up Man really surprising everyone with a big improvement on his time and taking P1 for the Red Bull driver. Honest Crook in Ferrari also improved a lot and surprised me personally by taking P2, and then we got Alfa Romeo at P4. So let's look at the table, and it's gonna be, this is gonna be a top 3. So Hold Up Man, Honest Crook, and Marvin. Then I can't see his name somehow, but Alfa Romeo Racing at P4. Then we have a Boa in the Mercedes at P5. Even in the Racing Point at P6. Then another car, I can't see his name of, in AlphaTauri. P7, Keycon at P8. MGG at P9. Allrin Fire Sky at P10. And Ferry in the Haas at P11. James Cruz joining in on P12, Semi-Pro at P13. Then 14 is for Nifas Sweden. So he's going to be closing up the grid. And now we are on to the race. So exciting qualifying in the last moments. Two cars improving themselves. Oh, and it's really, really wet. So this is going to be full wets. And that's not a wish any driver would make. So, based on the qualifying, throw some predictions in chat. I think it's going to be a nice battle in front between the Williams, the Red Bull and the Ferrari there. Only a few hundredths of a second separated them and only 1,000 between P2 and P3. So that's going to be really exciting to watch as we are now on the formation lap. Let's see the fitted tires, and it is the full wets as I predicted. And hold up man, starting his lap, starting the formation lap here. Slaps in a bit of a gap actually. Might need to hold up for a minute. To get those tires on the right temperature as they cool down really quick during the rain. So you want them to be on a steady temperature here. Everyone behind him taking it easy, not doing anything stupid. And now he's actually warming his tires up pretty decent here. So let's see if the rain maybe clears up during the race or if it stays this wet. I think it's going to be clearing up. Now there they go. Taking it real slow now. Oh, and there's a little bit of backspin there for the Red Bull. And there they go. So now formation is setting up again. Grid is forming. And then we're gonna wait for the lights. Last car now joining in. And we have a good view on the lights. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then we are off here at Spain. And it already looks like a jump start for James Cruz, and he has a drive-through, so that's another way to start your race here. And Hannes Krug with a really good start there. Also the Alfa Romeo with really decent start, taking P2 and Honest Crook taking P1. All the way back to P3 with the heat of Marvlin in his back as well. Oh, Marvlin going wide. There is the attack of the Mercedes and he is through. So Marvelous got wide, maybe to see if there was a gap on the Red Bull in front of him. But then the Mercedes took advantage of it and took his position. Currently at P3. And it does look like everyone got through safe. No damage, so that's a good thing. Only James Cruz, yeah, he has a jump start. So that's going to be a drive-through penalty for him, and he's going to lose a lot of time based on that. So everyone still has their end plates. No yellow flags, so yeah, so far. A bit of wheel spinning though, but that's logical since there is a lot of water on track. Oh, and is the Mercedes actually gonna look for the... and he is looking for the gap on the Red Bull there. But also the Williams driver didn't let the Mercedes just go with it. He's still right on his tail. And definitely going to be looking for the overtake. Now it's turn 1, a bit of a lock up I hear, but no, where is there? He still got it, still close behind the Red Bull here. But you can't see if, well, at least it's hard. But in this type of conditions, being so close to a car in front of you really makes it hard to see. And I think that's the thing holding up Boa here at the moment, just the view. It's like really misty on the cars in front of you, so you can't see anything. In the back we have some action as well, as Ferry is closing in on the Mercedes in front of him of MGG. That gone really tight though, so he lost a bit of time there. But closes in again. No, he doesn't. Now he does. And let's see if he can actually make the attack work somewhere. In this type of conditions, it's so hard to make the overtake on Spain. It already is hard in some part of the tracks. But in this type of conditions, it's insane. In the front we still have fighting going on. Oh wow, excuse me. There's still fighting going on with Marvin actually keeping the gap 3/10 on the Mercedes in front of him. Oh, and there's a lock up there. So that's gonna cost him a little time. And the AlphaTauri driver is actually closing in as well. The whole grid is actually still quite close, seeing the current race. A few gaps here and there. Honest Crook actually being in the best position he can be. 2.6 seconds to almost 3 seconds actually in front of the B2 driver in the Alfa Romeo. As clear visual. Also the Alfa Romeo doesn't have any problems with visual of course, but his pace is a bit off to the Ferrari in front of him. And he definitely gonna be feeling the heat of the Red Bull behind him any moment. But he is losing some time and now gaining actually quite fast as well. But yeah, the top, well basically the top 4 is fighting each other off, looking and waiting for the moment to make the overtake work. In the back we have some gaps falling. Geekon and Semi-Pro still close though, but further down the grid, Nifa Sweden really close to Olorin, and James Cruz lost a lot of time in that drive-through penalty there. Actually curious if some of them might actually have taken the wet setup during the qualifying. It does make you slower, but of course in the race you have so much grip. You take you so much more advantage in the race. But yeah, I didn't really think of it in the beginning. And let's see if these guys can actually put up a show during the wet weather conditions. Boa actually closing in quite fast on the Mercedes, on the Red Bull in front of him. Honest Crew keep getting a faster lap every round. Oh, and Marvin actually really close on the Mercedes as well. He didn't want to make the gamble on making the outbreak there. Outbreaking the Mercedes there, and I think he's smart by doing that. You don't want to risk anything during these conditions. If you go off, you go off hard. And we do have a lot of cars having trouble with the braking in that corner. I had a lot of lockups. Hold up, man, now really feeling the hunt from Boa here in the Mercedes, and we have a yellow flag, and it is for Ethan. For a minute I thought there was a Renault or Semi-Pro there, but he was still on his way. So Ethan spun out. Did he get damaged? So, and he did get damaged. So the right front wing took a big hit. And that's really gonna cost him some time and a lot of positions as well. So switching back to the guys who are actually fighting each other at the moment, with every piece of the car left. It looks like the current conditions makes it too hard to gamble on the overtake. Which is completely understandable, of course. I mean, you can't see anything throughout the car. You only see that red light flashing. Luckily, you still see that, of course. And the Williams locking up here again. Nifa Sweden pretty close behind Olorin though. Though let's not forget the cars in the back. But also for this Ferrari driver, it counts that the fact is it's so hard to make the overtake work now. Honest Crook had such a good start and provided itself with P1 and a gap of 5 seconds. But yeah, he's lucky though. He's real lucky on it. Since overtaking is way too hard now in these conditions. The Alfa Romeo having a little trouble in the last corner. And then we have a small train forming up for 5 cars. With a little gap between them, but still. It does look like on the braking points they really close in on each other, but on the straights they just lose time. So that's the point of exits, making the exit work, in my opinion. Williams taking a little curve there, having some backspin, but no real worries on it. And he's locking up again. And there's the first penalty. 3 seconds for the Alfa Romeo driver, who really can't use it at the moment. Still the gaps are forming within half a second between the cars here, but they really don't seem to make any danger to each other. Oh, and there is the attack, and he made it work. Oh, still side by side. No. Oh, and he lost it again. So that was the attack from Marvin there, from the Williams on the Mercedes. He made it work, but he had a wheel spin somewhere. Made it almost take under acceleration, and lost the position back again. But he's still close on the Mercedes now. And he doesn't want to take the gamble again. Not trying to outbrake the car in front of him. And the cars real still really close to each other. It's insane. They keep the gap for only already 9 laps now. Fighting the positions for 9 laps at the moment. Honest Crook actually taking so much advantage of it. Currently at P6. Oh, and we have a yellow flag. And I think Marvin was off for a moment. Seeing he lost the position to the AlphaTauri here. But doesn't seem he took any damage though. And he didn't. So that's a good thing for him. And Honest Rook actually slamming in the P1 position here. Almost 7 seconds of a gap. Just doing his job, keeping it clean, no worries on it. Let the guys behind you fight and just do your drive, and he's exactly doing this. So he jumped at the start to P1 and never lost it ever since. Real unlucky for Hold Up Man, of course, but he's still close on the car who overtook him as well. And the car in front of him is actually on a 3-second penalty, so with only 23 laps to go, of course. There's still a lot of things that can happen. The Hold Up Man can also take a penalty somehow, but yeah, you don't want to actually have the penalty. You don't want to have the risk of losing your podium position. But let's hope for him. Some of the cars behind him will take a 3-second as well, and that will give him some breathing space. Marvin lost a lot of time to the cars in front of him during that spin, and now gets MGG in the back as well, and it's Nifa Sweden who spun. And did he take any damage? It doesn't seem like he took any damage, and he didn't, so he kept it out of the wall, but he spun and lost quite some time on James Cruz, but he's still in one piece. So let's just see if he can manage to keep that time close again. He was doing quite a good job on keeping the car on the right time behind the car in front of him, but yeah, these guys battling it out for 11 laps now, and actually Marvin is actually closing in again. The Williams driver definitely showing the guys here that he isn't done racing them after just one spin. And there we can see him in the back coming. Hold up, man, still looking for the gap. Still waiting for the right moment to put his nose between him and the car in front of him. But it doesn't seem it's gonna be there any moment quickly. So far the rain didn't even slow down a bit as well. It didn't stop rain for. It's not even a little bit less rain. The track is still like so wet. I think the intermediates will gonna come out at some point, but not any moment soon. Oh, Ethan is actually really close on Nifa Sweden at the moment. He's on younger wet tires, so his grip level should be more. And he actually took the overtake. Took the position away from Nifa Sweden. And it's good to see the guys in the back still fighting as well. His teammate James Cruz close in on Alvarin actually at the moment. Alvarin, who seems to be struggling with these weather conditions, especially in sector 3. But then again, who won't? It's like a swimming pool out there. Oh, and it's side by side with the AlphaTauri and the Mercedes here. And he's back at him again. So he did try to make the overtake, and went side by side through the corner, but didn't want to risk going side by side to another one as well, and I completely understand that. Not even on a dry track, it was the moment to go side by side through. But even though he did make an attempt on attack, usually you lose quite some time when it doesn't work. But he managed to keep it still within half a second. So that's quite good. And the Williams driver actually is now within a second as well. Let's see if he can look up some redemption here. As we are switching to James Cruz for the moment, as he's still fighting Oliver now on the straight. Full ERS. And it's not gonna happen. Oh, he makes a late one. That's a late call. Giving quite some space, and he made it stick. Of course, Oliver did need to go wide a bit there, but it's still racing, guys, so no worries on that. I mean, no hard feelings, but it's still racing. You need to be challenged sometimes, and James Cruz went for a really late one and made it actually stick and work. Now taking P11 and already having a second gap on Oliver here. What an overtake from the racing point there. Yes, Keegan is actually quite close behind the ferry here. The Haas and the McLaren looking for a battle. Well, at least at least Keegan is. Let's see the cars in front again, since they are still so close behind each other. And I still see a chat message pop up, and it's gonna be prof. Yeah, very tricky conditions for the drivers here, and you're completely right. The conditions are insane. It didn't even slow down one drip of rain so far. It's 15 laps in and we're still on full wets. Luckily though, there is a good dry line forming up. But based on the mist, you see... oh, and Marvin actually going in. And it is the pit window, only one lap early. So let's see, maybe he can make the overtake, the undercut. Oh, and it's a yellow, and it's gonna be a McLaren, I believe, and it's Oliver. That's a shame for him. Lost the position to James Cruz based on well, quite an overtake. And now spun around, lost a lot of time, and it's now the other racing point behind him. So Marvin back to P10, but he's on fresh wet tires, which can help out quite well during these conditions. Oh, and oh, he's taking a pond with him. But the Mercedes and the AlphaTauri going for their pit stop as well. Now let's see what Marvin is going to do. He's in quite a good position at the moment, but the Mercedes already back on halfway through the pit lane. So he's not gonna make it work on the Mercedes, I believe. And he does. Wait, he does. Oh, that's gonna be deep. Mercedes needing giving to space. But yeah, this is clean. This is clean. But it did make it work on the AlphaTauri though. And currently seeing everybody still needs to pit. It will be P5 when the top 4 pits as well. I think it's gonna be P5. Yeah. So Honest Crook didn't decide to pit yet. There is his teammate, and he's still not going. Maybe he's gambling, and he doesn't need to. Seeing this, I believe he doesn't need to. Taking a fastest lap again on 70 laps, all tires. He's on a really good pace here. And there goes Hold Up Man into the pit lane. Drop down to P6. So Marvin actually made the overtake on Hold Up Man as well. But Hold Up Man goes for the intermediates. But I really don't think that's a good call. Still seeing the mist coming off those cars. No, don't get me wrong. I can be wrong, of course. It's easy for a commentator, of course, to say it's a good call or a bad call. We can't feel the track, so. But so until now, he's doing pretty fine. But he doesn't seem to be any quicker on the intermediates in the corners. He loses time there. I think he went too yeah, he definitely went too early. He went too early for the intermediates. Honest Crook actually in a pit now. And he's out, so he is not lost the position. Still currently at P1 on new wet tires. And the Alfa Romeo slamming in P2 again, and Marvin actually took P4. Based on the fact that Hold Up Man, of course, went for the pit. Oh, and Keycon is out. And Ethan as well. Oh, but it does seem like... No, Keycon on the straight. That's really unfortunate. And it's a virtual safety car. So how did that happen? That's so unfortunate for him. Maybe temperature in the tire played a big part of it, but so far, Hold Up Man, I think he needs to take advantage of the VSC, yeah. And there's a there's a drive-through penalty for semi-pro. And now that makes me wonder, and it's Nifa Sweden who takes a drive-through as well. He's all the way at the back and he lost quite some time already. And now needs to take a drive-through penalty as well. Semi-pro is gonna lose quite some position based on it as well. Also, I think it's 24 seconds, so I think he's gonna drop back to P11. It's a gamble, but I think he is. And Ferry now during the... Oh, and hold up, man, got actually overtaken by MGG, but I did see Ferry as well, and that's because a semi-pro went for the pit to serve his drive-through penalty, and it's gonna be P9 actually. So my counting didn't really play out well, but still, yep. And hold up, man, still not improving his times on the intermediates. He's keeping on track though. But I think based on the fact that he needs to try to keep it on track, it's making him lose quite some time. Oh, and what happened with the Racing Point? Oh, Racing Point, not a Racing Point. Oh my god. The Alfa Romeo, what happened? So I missed this, but he lost his P2. Now Marvin and Boa at P2 and 3. I think he spun somewhere. Did he take damage? He didn't take any damage. But he lost quite some places. He wasn't P2. Now needs to look for redemption here and see if he can close in on the cars in front of him again. Oh, and it's a yellow flag and it's hold up, man. Yeah, there he goes. Brave gamble to go for the intermediates, but yeah, I don't think it did work. It just didn't work. I don't think it anymore. I just know it didn't work. So going back to the front, as P2 and 3 are still quite close behind each other. And also the Alpha Tauri looking for the gap, maybe here. Oh, he did see one, but Marvin actually closed it quite early. And that's good defending from him. Now on the straight, let's see if he can actually make something work. And I think Marvin, that's way more ERS. And it's still in P3, so the Alfa Romeo actually rejoined the guys in front of him. And Anders Brook just doing his job again. Went for the pit, came out first, and didn't lose any position so far. Keeps slamming in the pace he needs. As hold up, man, is in the pit lane. I think he's gonna switch back to wets, and he does. But in this process of trying to make it work on the intermediates, he lost 10 positions. No, not really 10 positions, but of course he started on pole position, lost quite some places there. Was in P3, I believe, and now drives P8, P11. So that's 8 places for him. Just in the process of taking the intermediates. And currently it's still really close behind the Williams and the Alfa Tauri car here. And the Alfa Romeo actually slipping away some times again. Actually not joining the fight in front of him. And we do see the Alpha Tower using quite some wet part of the tracks as well. Maybe to cool down his tires or improve his visual, of course. So now we know if it rains in Spain, it's gonna be hard rain and it's gonna be long rain, as we are 23 laps in, 10 laps to go, and still not a single drop less of rain, not a single drier track anywhere. As we are keeping it on the guys in front of it here for a moment, since they are battling it out pretty good. I think if I switch to Marvin, I have a better view of all the three cars, and I do. And Boa actually on a really good pace to keep the cars behind him far enough to not make the overtake work on ERS. And it's easier to save ERS in a wet track, of course, as well. As we are now 24 laps in, 9 to go, and it's still gonna be close for P2, 3 and 4. One small mistake can ruin your lap, ruin your race here. In these conditions, in this time of the race. I think the AlphaTauri does a really good job at the moment, keeping it real close behind Williams. How is he based on ERS? Well, he's using quite some more ERS than the cars in front of him. That's maybe why he's also keep it close to these cars. Oh, and that's a crash, and that's the Williams off. And I'm amazed that it's only a virtual safety car. And wow, that was quite a hit. And there he goes. That's it at the end of the race for him, and no podium. That's a shame. He really deserved it. Came out wide, lost the rear, and just fully went in the wall. On full acceleration, nothing you can do about it. You can't save it. Especially in these conditions not. What a shame for him. What a crash. So it's gonna be a virtual safety car, and it's ending now. I'm really surprised actually that it's only a virtual safety car. And the AlphaTauri looking really good on the Mercedes after that incident and after the virtual safety car, but he does seem to be having some trouble with the rear. .210 still. Virtual safety car again. Who's off? But who's off then? There's still some carbon on the track there. I don't see anyone who spun or took damage anywhere. And it's a drive-through for Hold Up Man again. And that's gonna cost him a lot of time. So his race completely over after he went for the intermediates, and there's the AlphaTauri going for the inside on the Mercedes, but it didn't make work. It's a big risk taking there, but it didn't work. Not on these conditions. But he's still challenging the Mercedes here and saying you gotta work for that P2, because I want it as well. And he's absolutely right by doing that. But the Mercedes on almost 100% DRS. It's a virtual safety car again. Is it just because of the carbon on the track? I think it might be. No, but it's still there. I think it's because of the carbon fiber is still on the track. So the front wing of the Williams still laying on the track there, and I think that's causing this virtual safety car. But where are the marshals when you need them? Just get that freaking wing out of the way and let's start again. As the Mercedes and AlphaTauri are still fighting it out here. Who's gonna take on? Oh, and the AlphaTauri took a penalty. So not only does he need to make the overtake work now, he also needs to make a gap on the Mercedes. Let's see, is it still there? And it is. Quite annoying, since I think this is what causing his virtual safety cars. And 4 laps to go. Hold up, man. Excuse me, no. Honest Crook is slamming in. Yeah, it is virtual safety car again. This is real weird. Let's see, James Cruz is gonna drive through now, yeah, and it's gonna be it's still carbon fiber on track. So why didn't the game just remove it so we can have a proper race again? And there is this green again. So the restarts of the AlphaTauri drivers are pretty good actually. Maybe a small touch there, but nothing that can hurt. And now he's close. Both cars on ERS though. And no overtake, still no overtake. I think this is going on for another 3 laps, and AlphaTauri takes P3. So let's see what penalties. So it's 3 seconds for him, 5 for Olerin, 6 for the Alfa Romeo behind him, and 3 seconds for Ferry. But yeah, Alfa Romeo driver will lose a place. If it ends like this, he will drop to P5. And then Mercedes is actually doing quite a good job again, taking P2 and P4. If it stays like this, of course. MGG can still take a penalty as well, and also can CRL Boa. Maybe lose it even. But I mustn't say that, it's a commentator curse, so let's not gamble on that. As Hold Up Man takes the fastest lap, and he will take a point for it, since he's in P10. So my guess is that it's gonna be a virtual safety car again, anywhere near this lap or the other one. Seeing there's still carbon fiber on track. The marshals not doing their job. And Boa is actually doing a really good job by saving his ERS. That helps out a lot, seeing the AlphaTauri driver doesn't save that ERS more than he does. Which is understandable, of course. He wants to make the overtake. He wants to close in enough. And now seeing that if the Alfa Romeo actually pushes a bit harder for the next 2 laps, he can still make P4. I believe he even started P4. I think. Didn't he? I don't know. I can't remember anymore. No, he started P3. Right? No, P4. He started P4. The Williams was P3. Yeah. So he reduced damage for him. Starting P3, P4, ending P4 at the moment. So he's still doing a great job. But this battle keeps going on, but it doesn't end, I think. The winner will be the Mercedes at the end. Don't think the AlphaTauri driver is gonna make a 3-second gap work with only 1.5 lap to go. And yeah, we're gonna switch to our winner later. Oh, and it's one car off, and it's Alfa Romeo. Ooh, and luckily coasting is on here. Whew, that was close. So he lost the position. And he might... No, he's not losing another one as well. No, and it's another one, and it's Alren in the gravel. And again, Lucky Ghosting is on. And there we have it, and let's see the penalties. It's 3 seconds, so yeah, the Alfa Romeo will still be in a good position here, taking P5. So no worries for him. As we're now switching to the Ferrari driver here, the winner of tonight's Grand Prix. Into the chicane he goes, and onto the last corner now, and he's gonna be happy with this result, and he's fully deserved. And there he goes, P1 for Anders Krug in the Ferrari, and there's P2 for the Mercedes driver, then P3. Luckily he was over the line already. P3 for the AlphaTauri driver here. MGG in the other Mercedes taking P4. Then we have Romeo and P5. Ferry slamming in the P6. And there we have Semi-Pro in a Renault. Came in far. He started at the back. Now P7. So that's a good race for him. Quite some result. James Cruz in the the Racing Point. Taking P8, then we have Hold Up Man who made a gamble on the intermediates, but it didn't stick for him. Going for P9. I believe he still has the fastest lap though, so he will take an extra point there. And Alren, who spun out in the last lap. Very unlucky race for him. He's normally one of the drivers who you do need to watch in front, but not today, and it didn't work out for him that well. But still P10, and he takes a point win. And there we have it. What a well-deserved win, and a driver of the day, Semi-Pro, definitely Semi-Pro, taking P7, starting from the back. And what a win from Anders Krug, slamming in a P1 and not losing it from start on. There we have it, the Ferrari driver on the podium. And also a good job from the Mercedes and the AlphaTauri for battling that long and showing these guys can drive fair and square. So that's it for today's race, guys. We're gonna watch the table a minute again, so you can guys check it, and then we're gonna round it off. And there we have it, Anders Krug, Boa, and I still can't see his name, but AlphaTauri at P3. So thanks everybody for tuning in today here at Racing Spec Esports RS5 division. I'm gonna be back next week, and well, have a good day, and hopefully see you next week. Bye guys.